Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of the Walk with Ethan Hockey podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Black, and today we're talking about the games from Thursday, April 23rd through last night, as of recording this, Monday, April 27th. And also, we're going to talk about those games as well as preview for tonight's and Wednesday's games before we're back on Thursday, as well as talk about some AHO. Actually, we know the rest of the semifinal, each of the Calder Cup, which I'll get to and make the rest of those predictions. We had some already made, but the rest were made on Sunday. So, and let's waste any time. We'll just jump into the first game from Thursday, April 23rd. We had three games on tap here. As Boston Bruins was hosting Buffalo Sabres, this is game number 3 for them in the best of 7 series. And Buffalo wins with a score of 3-1. Noah Osland gets the empty netter at third period, 18:36. So your three stars are actually both Alex's from Buffalo Sabres, Alex Touch and Alex Lyon. Touch, your first star, Lyon, your second star, and James Swayman from the Boston Bruins gets your third star. And that game was at 7 p.m., by the way, Eastern. Game number 2 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We had Ottawa Senators hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. This is also game 3 for them. And excuse me, Carolina wins with the score of 2-1. Jackson Blake in the second period, 17-29, getting his first of the playoffs, getting the win for that one. So your first star is Logan Stankoven from Carolina Hurricanes. Frederick Anderson is your second star from Carolina Hurricanes. And Jake Batherson is your third star from the Ottawa Senators. In the third and final game from this night at 10 p.m. Eastern, LA Kings hosting the Colorado Avalanche. This is also their third game of their series, and Colorado winning with the score of 4-2. Brock Nelson getting the unassist, getting the empty netter, third period 17:42 to get Colorado up in that series 3-0. Arturi Larkin, your first for Colorado Avalanche. Alexi Lafarian, your second star for LA Kings, and Cal McCarthy, your third star for Colorado Avalanche. So Buffalo leads 2-1 in their series. Carolina and Colorado both lead their series 3-0. So they can make a clean sweep. We'll find out later. And we're gonna jump over to the Friday, April 24th games. 3 games on tap as well. And this is for these 3 games here. This is their third games of their series here. So first game, 7 p.m. Eastern, Montreal Canadiens hosting Tampa Bay Lightning, and they get the win for the third time in a row in an overtime. This the third time in a row is the overtime part, not them winning. Lane Hudson getting the overtime win at 2 minutes and 9 seconds into overtime. And if for anybody who might have forgot or new to this stuff, sorry, I fixed my headset there. There's no shootouts in playoffs. It's just basically just overtime until and it's 5-on-5. So basically, it's just a bunch of overtimes until someone gets a goal. And Lane Hudson does again from Montreal. For Lane Hudson, actually speaking of him, he gets first star from Montreal Canadiens. Kirby Dash, your second star from Montreal Canadiens. And Brent Hagel is your third star from Tampa Bay Lightning. And Montreal takes that series 2-1. Our second game at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Utah Utes hosting the Golden Vegas Knights, and they get the win at home ice with the score of 4-2. This is at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, by the way. Lawson Cross getting the game-winning goal, his second of the playoffs, 9:48 in the second period. Vegas two goals came in the third period at 13:20 from Jack Etchell, getting his first of the season playoffs, and Nick Dowd getting his second of the playoffs at 16:52 in the third period. Logan Krause is your first over Utah Utes. Corral Feja Magla, I do apologize for butchering that. I do apologize. It's Jack Star from Utah Utes. And Mackenzie Weeger is your third star, also from the Utah Utes. And they take that series 2-1. And the third and final game at 10 p.m. Eastern, Anaheim Ducks hosting the Edmonton Oilers, and they get the win at home ice with the score of 7-4. Jackson LeCombe getting his first of the playoffs in empty net, 18:27 in the third period. And all 3 stars do go to Anaheim Ducks. Mikhail Greenland, your first star. Jackson LeCombe, your second star. And Leo Carson is your third star. And Anaheim do take that series with the score of 2-1. And we're going to jump over to the Saturday, April 25th games. 3 games on tap. Kick it off with game number 1, 3 p.m. Eastern. Ottawa Senators again hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. And Carolina wins the series with the score of 4-2. Sebastian Aho getting his third of the playoffs, empty net, 18:45 in the third period. And since it was 4-2, Carolina do clean sweep with the score 4-2, so they win the series 4-0. Frederick Anderson, your first star from Carolina Hurricanes. Sebastian Aho is your second star from Carolina Hurricanes. And Drake Bowser is your third star from Ottawa Senators. So Carolina will take on the winner of the Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game in the quarterfinals. Game number 2, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota hosting Dallas Stars, and they get to win in a really, really fun game and overtime. Matt Boldy getting the overtime with 29 seconds left of the first overtime, and he gets first star from Minnesota Wild. Jasper Wallstead, your second star, also from Minnesota Wild, and Brock Faber is your third star, also from Minnesota Wild. And we have a tied series, two wins apiece. In the third final game at 8 p.m. Eastern, Philadelphia Flyers hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Penguins, and they were actually on the verge of elimination. Philadelphia could have clean sweep them, but Pittsburgh survives with the score of 4-2. So that series is 3-1, by the way. Connor Duell getting his first of the playoffs, empty netter 1903. And your three stars are Chris Letang, your first one from Pittsburgh Penguins. Travis Canali is your second star from Philadelphia Flyers. And Sidney Crosby is your third star from Pittsburgh Penguins. So that was the Saturday games. Then on to Sunday, April 26th. We have 4 games on tap here. We have, and all 4 of these games are the 4th game of the best of 7 series. Game number 1 at 2 p.m. Eastern. We have Boston Bruins hosting the Buffalo Sabres again. And Buffalo just destroys Boston with a score of 6-1. Game-winning goal came from Alex Touch, 6 minutes 32 seconds in the third period, and Sean Curley getting the only Boston goal at 19:20 in the third period, getting a shorthanded goal. Alex Line, your first star from Buffalo Sabres. Bowen Bryan is your second star from Buffalo Sabres, and Alex Touch is your star from Buffalo Sabres. And they take that series 3-1. So if they win Game 5, that is Buffalo wins the series. Speaking of win the series, we go to game number 2 at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. LA Kings again hosting the Colorado Avalanche, and Colorado does win on their ice with a score of 5-1. Nathan McKinnon get the empty net of 14-22 in the third period. And since they win that series by 4-0, so Colorado will take on the winner of the Dallas Minnesota game in the quarterfinals, or aka the second round in the Western Conference. Speaking of Nathan McKinnon, he gets his first star from Colorado Avalanche. Gabriel Landstock, your second star, also from Colorado Avalanche, and Asa Kotar, your third star from the LA Kings. And by the way, this is his final game ever because he's retiring. So I just want to say thank you, Kopitar. Game number 3 at 7 p.m. Eastern. Montreal is again hosting the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Lightning gets the win with a score of 3-2. So we have another tied best of 7 series with 2 apiece. Brent Hagel getting the game-winning goal 15:07 the third period. And speaking of Brent Hagel, he gets the first star. Jake Gensel is your second star, also from Tampa Bay, and Caden Gual is your third star from Montreal Canadiens. In the fourth and final game on this night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Anaheim. I was the Edmonton Ducks. Sorry, Anaheim Ducks hosting the Edmonton Oilers again, and they get the win with a score of 4-3 in overtime. There was some controversy in that game-winning goal. I know it's been talked a lot in the hockey media. All I'm gonna say is I think I'm an Oilers fan, but I think that actually was a goal because what happened was some people missed it. So Ryan Pulley did get the overtime win, 2:29 into overtime. It was just barely over the line, but it was hard to tell because Trayson Jarry's skate was on it. So the referee originally waved it off, but after review, they did count it. So Anaheim takes the series with the score of 3-1. So they win Game 5. That's over for Edmonton Oilers. And Jackson Coleman, your first star for Anaheim Ducks. Also from Anaheim Ducks, second star Cutter Gutier. And Ryan Pulley, also from Anaheim Ducks, gets your third star of that game. So that was the Sunday ones. Now moving on to last night's Monday, April 27th. We had just 2 games on tap here. At Game 5 here between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Pittsburgh hosting Philadelphia for this one, and they win with the score of 3-2. Chris Letang get his second of the playoffs at 17 minutes, 12 seconds in the second period, and they take the series now. It is 3-2, so we are getting Game 6. So Philadelphia still technically could win in Game 6, but if no, we're going the full 7. And I did when I made my predictions for the first round, I did say this game was going on all 7 games. And speaking of Chris Letang, he gets first star for Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby, your second star, also from Pittsburgh Penguins, and Connor Dwyer, your third star from the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the second and final game talked about on this night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Utah Utes hosting the Vegas Golden Knights again, but this time Vegas gets to win with the score of 5-4 in overtime. The game-winning goal came from Shea Theodore, again his first of the playoffs, 1908 in overtime. So their series is tied 2 apiece. That was game number 4 for them, by the way. So game 5 is happening this week. Speaking of Shea Theodore, he gets first start from Vegas Golden Knights. Brett Howden is your second start, also from Vegas Golden Knights, and Clayton Keller your third start from the Utah Mammoth. And before we move on to AHL, we're just going to talk about before I record again on Thursday, we'll talk about the 2 games from actually tonight as we're recording this and tomorrow, Wednesday, April 29th. So at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Boston Bruins visiting Buffalo Sabres as game 5 for them. Buffalo can close it tonight with a win, so that series will be 4-1. Also, game number 5, at 8 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota visiting Dallas Stars. That series is tied 2 apiece. In the third and final game at 10 p.m. Eastern, Anaheim Ducks visit Edmonton Oilers, and Anaheim can do what Buffalo do and eliminate Edmonton tonight. So Edmonton and Boston are basically a do or die tonight. So if they lose here, that's it. And then on tomorrow, Wednesday, April 29th, we have 3 games on tap here. Game 5 at 7 p.m. Eastern between Montreal and Tampa. Montreal visiting Tampa. Like that's their 5th game of the series. If it does go to actually that is game 6 tomorrow night between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Pittsburgh visiting Philadelphia at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So Philadelphia can close it tomorrow night with a win over Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh ties, we are going game 7, which I low-key hope they do. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, the third and final game on this night, Utah Mammoth visiting the Vegas Golden Knights, and that series is tied with 2 apiece. So let's see what happens there. So that was the NHL for this week. And now we're going to go over to the American Hockey League. As we go to Thursday, April 23rd, this is first round of the Calder Cup. So game 1 at 7 p.m. Eastern, Hershey Bears between Bridgeport Islanders with a score of 5-2. And Hershey Bears do win the series, clean sweeping up with the score of 2-0. So anybody new to AHL Calder Cup, so 23 teams are in. You have 5 from North and Central advancing, 7 from the Pacific, and 6 from Atlantic all advance. And basically, whoever has to make it in the first round, it's best of 3. The division semifinals are best of 5, and the conference and Calder Cup finals are both best of 7. So yeah, that's why the Hershey Bears only won. That's why they have 3 games between them. And speaking of first round, we had first round here at game 2, 10 p.m. Eastern. Bakersfield Condors defeating the Coachella Valley Firebirds with the score of 6-1. So they take that series 1-0. So that was AHL for that night. Then on to that was Thursday, April 20th. On Friday, April 24th, we had 6 games on tap here. The first 2 games were at 7 p.m. Eastern, but the opening game, game 1, was Springfield Thunderbirds beating Charlotte Checkers with the score of 5-2. And the other 7 p.m. Eastern game number 2, Cleveland Monsters v Syracuse Crash with the score of 3-2. And boy, that was their first game of 5 for the best of 5 series. First round of the Calder Cup, game number 3, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Rochester Americans defeating Charles Mars with the score of 4-0. So that game is going to 3, and I did have them going actually all 3 games for this one. Game number 4, 8 p.m. Eastern. Manitoba Moose v Milwaukee Emeralds with the score of 2-1. Game number 5, 9:05 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Eagles v St. Gulls with the score of 6-1. And Eagles have won that series clean sweeping 2-0. And the 6th and final game on this night at 10 p.m. Eastern, Henderson Silver Knights v Jose Barracuda with the score of 5-1. So that was the Friday games. Then on to the Saturday games. Only 2 games on tap here. Game number 1, 7 p.m. Eastern, Springfield Thunderbirds v Charlotte Checkers score 2-1 overtime, and Springfield wins the series ironically 2-1. And it's game number 2 at 9 p.m. Eastern. Coachella Firebirds v Bakersfield Condors with a score of 5-4. Condors could actually clean sweep on this night, but Coachella make it a tiebreaker game. So that series is tied 1 apiece. And then on to Sunday, April 26th, we have 4 games on tap. This is the final first round games. Game number 1, 3 p.m. Eastern, Manitoba Moose v Milwaukee Emeralds with the score up 2-1. So Manitoba wins that series ironically 2-1. Toronto Marlies defeating Rochester Americans. This is game number 2 at 4 p.m. Eastern with the score of 4-2. So Toronto wins that series, and they'll face the Lava Rockets in the North Division semifinals. Game number 3. This is game 2 of the best of 5 semifinal best of 5. Syracuse Crush and Cleveland Monsters score up 4-1. So that series is tied 1 apiece. And the fourth and final game, the final first round. So the winner will actually I'll get to in a second. At 8 p.m. Eastern, Coachella Fire versus Bears for conference score of 6-2. So Coachella Valley wins that series, and they win that series 2-1. So that was that one. And then we're gonna move on to there's no games last night as well. So the semifinals. I'll just go over it again, and then I'll tell you the score. So the official semifinals. So Lake Division, we have uh the first place winners, Provident Bruins, will take on the sixth place team, Springfield Thunderbirds, and their 5 games are: Game 1's Friday, May 1st, Sunday, May 3rd is the second game, Game 3 is Tuesday, May 5th, Game 4 and 5 both of necessary, Game 4 Thursday, May 7th, and Game 5, if it does go to 5, Saturday, May 9th, and all 5 of those games are at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. In the other Atlantic Division semifinal, the second place, the runner-up of the Atlantic Division, Wilkes-Barre/Grand Penguins, take on the fifth place Hershey Bears. Games Game 1's at April 30th. Game 2 starting May 2nd. Tuesday, May 5th. That's game number 3. And again, if it goes to games 4 and 5, Game 4 Thursday, May 7th, and Game 5 will be Saturday, May 9th. From the North Division, the first place team, Level Rockets, will take on the fourth place Toronto Marlies. Game 1 will be Wednesday, April 29th. Game 2, Friday, May 1st. Sunday, May 3rd. Game 4, Tuesday, May 5th. And Game 5, Friday, May 8th. So games 1, 2, 4, and 5 are all 7 p.m. Eastern. And Game 3 is at 4 p.m. Eastern. And by Penguins vs. Bears, Game 1 will be at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Game number 2 will be 6:05 p.m. Eastern. Games 3 and 4 will be 7 p.m. Eastern. And Game 5 will be at 6:05 p.m. Eastern. For Laval versus Toronto, April 20th and May 1st, May 5th, and 8th. So games 1, 2, 4, and 5, all 7 p.m. Eastern, and Sunday, May 3rd is at 4 p.m. Eastern. And the other North Division, which is actually the best currently going on right now, that, like I said, that series is tied. So the next game will be Friday, May 1st, as Cleveland visits Syracuse. That'd be at 7 o'clock. And then game 4, that is actually going to game 4. Cleveland will be at Syracuse again, this time at 3 p.m. Eastern. And if it does go to game 5, that'll be May 9th, and Cleveland will finish at Syracuse at 5. So those last 4 games are at Syracuse. I'll run on the rest of some, and I'll give the predictions that I didn't do yet. So for the Central Division, we have 2. The winners, Green Rapids Griffins, takes on the 4th place in Manitoba Moose. So their 5 games are Saturday, May 2nd, game 1. Game 2 is May 3rd. Game 3, Wednesday, May 6th. Game 4 and 5, again, if it goes there. Game 4, Friday, May 8th. And Saturday, May 9th is the 5th and final game. Green Rapids, so game 1 and 2 are at 3 p.m. Eastern. The games 3, 4, and 5 are at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the other Central Division semifinal is just the runner-ups of the Central Division, Chicago Wolves, take on the 3rd place Texas Stars. And actually, their first game is actually kicking off tonight as I'm recording at 8 p.m. Eastern. Game 2 is on Thursday, April 30th, also 8 p.m. Eastern. Game 3, Saturday, May 2nd, also 8 p.m. Eastern. And games 4 and 5, Sunday, May 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern. And game 5 will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. For those so games 1 and 2, Chicago's visiting Texas. And the games 3 for 5, Texas is visiting Chicago. And for the Pacific Division, we have the champions, Ontario Reign, taking on the 4th place Coachella Valley Firebirds. Game 1, April 29th, Wednesday. Game 2, Friday, May 1st. Game 3, Tuesday, May 5th. Thursday, May 7th for Game 4. And 5th final game will be Saturday, May 9th. So the times are, so Coachella Valley visits Ontario 10 p.m. Eastern. Those are the first 2 games. Games 3 and 4 and 5. 3 and 4 Ontario visits Coachella. Both of those are 10 p.m. Eastern. And if it does, Saturday, May 5th will be Coachella Valley visits Ontario at 9 p.m. Eastern. In the other semifinal game, the second place team, Colorado Eagles, takes on third place Henderson Silver Knights. The 5 games Friday, May 1st. Game number 1, Colorado visits Henderson at 10 p.m. Eastern. Game number 2, Monday, May 4th. Colorado again visits Henderson at 10 p.m. Eastern. Games number 3, 4, 5. Henderson is visiting Colorado for those last 3 games. Game 3, Wednesday, May 6th, 9:05 p.m. Eastern. And Game 4, Saturday, May 9th. And Game 5, Sunday, May 10th, both at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. So the rest of the prediction. So Providence for Spring Thunderbirds. I'm going Providence winning with the series score 3-2. And Wilkes-Barre Penguins versus Hershey Bears. I'm actually going to go with Penguins winning that one. Also going to 5 games, so 3-2. I'm going to go with Lava Rocket defeating Toronto. I'm going to say I'm actually going to go with a clean sweep here. I'm going to say 3-0. I would be surprised if it does. I'm going to be honest with you. I won't expect any of these games go to 5, but sometimes you got to do some upsetting ones. So I'm going to say Lamo wins in 3. I already made my Syracuse Cleveland one. I actually said Cleveland in 5. Grand Rapids versus Manitoba. I'm going to go with Grand Rapids winning. I'm going to say 5 games as well. Chicago for 10. I already made my predictions, but I'm going with Chicago winning. I'm actually going to say in 4. So for the Pacific Division, I'm actually going to go with Ontario winning. I'm going to say they're going to clean sweep 3-0. And Colorado Eagles for Henderson. This one's actually kind of tough, but I'm going to go with Henderson of Fancy winning in 5. So 3-2. And so we'll do previews. So tonight, actually, for our recording, at 8 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Wolves visit Texas. That is game 1 of 5 for their semifinal game. Then tomorrow night, Wednesday, April 20th, we have 2 games on tap. Both of them are game number 1s, and they're best of 5. At 7 p.m. Eastern, Toronto Marlies visit Level Rocket. And at 9 p.m. Eastern, Coach F5 Firebirds visit Ontario Reign. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the games this week. I'm your host. I'll be back on Thursday talking about the games from tonight and tomorrow, and we'll go over the weekend games as well. So have a good week, guys, and stay safe.